Gynecologists and patients insist on amplifying voices on dangers of obstetric fistula to reduce prevalence of mortality. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We are live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. The Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, has commended President Bola Tinubu for his commitment towards promoting religious tolerance amongst Nigerians, describing the move as a catalyst for strengthening unity and ensuring speedy economic growth and development. The Sultan gave the commendation during the commissioning of the Darul Ilm Center for Islamic Studies at Dan Bushiya community in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State. Adamu Sunday reports.
The growing menace of out-of-school children and its consequences remains a concern in Nigeria. In response, the Director General of the Department of State Services, Oluwaseun Ademola Ajayi, has built a learning center for orphans and indigent children in Dambushia community, Chukun local government area of Kaduna State, in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renew Hope agenda of providing both Islamic and Western education to undeserved populations. At the commissioning ceremony, the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, joined by the Coordinating Minister of the Economy and Minister of Finance Wale Edun, accompanied by the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Abubakar and other dignitaries, encouraged Nigerians not to lose hope. They reaffirmed President Tinubu's unwavering commitment to steering the nation towards sustainable growth and development.
Things will be better, inshallah, but let's be up and doing to fear Almighty Allah and what we do, how we do our things.
The policy of the president is to stabilize the economy and reduce poverty.
And we hope and pray that this is a foundation, for better things to come.
Kaduna State Governor Senator Obasani, represented by Deputy Governor Dr. Adiza Sabuwa Balarebe, reinstated the administration's dedication to revitalizing the education sector.
We are investing in reducing the out-of-school syndrome, constructing and renovating classrooms across all 23 local governments of our state, recruiting qualified teachers, and ensuring that the most disadvantaged children have access to quality education.
While addressing the graduating students, the Deputy Governor urged them to remain steadfast in the pursuit of their dreams, emphasizing that education remains the legacy that can be given to any child. In recognition of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's leadership and commitment to national development, the Darul Ilm Center for Islamic Studies was renamed in his honor. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
Governments at all levels must continue to initiate programs that build peace and serve as a unifying factor. Nigeria's former president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, stated this in a message at an event organized by the Rotary Club of Asokoro under District 9127, Abuja, tagged President's Night. Olayinka Uju reports.
In this hall are Rotarians, their friends as well as guests. And the unifying factor here is that they all believe in service above self, which translates into a better society for all. Their contributions and dedications to the service of humanity in the areas of health, education, sanitation, poverty reduction, as well as peace building informed the event. President Goodluck Jonathan, represented by former Chief of Defense Staff, Air Chief Marshal Oluseyi Petinrin, encouraged all citizens to be advocates of peace, as it is one sure way to economic development.
What were we doing? We brought the two communities together as they are directed. We started talking to the Fulani, we started talking to the Bureau, we started talking to other local groups. They started playing football. We were sponsoring football matches between the two communities.
For the president of Rotary Club of Asokoro, Babatunde Adetoba, it doesn't take so much from someone's pocket to put smiles on the faces of the downtrodden.
In the coming Rotary year, we are committed to more ambitious initiatives. But these dreams require more than goodwill. They require resources. They require partners.
Your leadership amplifies Rotary potential for good.
Then came the moment to appreciate people who have supported the club in building a just society.
Public service is not a call for titles, it's not a call to be oppressive, it's for service to humanity.
Rotary Club of Asokoro, under the leadership of Adetoba, has contributed more than 50 million naira to the service of humanity in the last 11 months. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
The Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, Most Reverend Ignatius K. Gama, wants Nigerians to avoid religious extremism and embrace tolerance among the nation's ethnic groups. Omenka Amarachukwu reports that this was part of the Archbishop's homily at Our Lady Queen of Peace Catholic Church, Utako, Abuja.
The Bishop's pastoral visit to Our Lady Queen of Peace Catholic Church was marked by a series of events, including the investiture of seminarians, the blessing of the chapel, as well as the installation of the tabernacle. Archbishop Kagama, in a message to Christian community, says peace and development in the country depends on cooperation among religious groups towards promoting dialogue and tolerance.
Let there be equality, let there be fairness, and this is what we feel will bring peace.
Prayers were offered for the nation's continued peace and national coexistence among Nigerians. In Abuja, Omenka Amarachukwu, NTA News.
To education now, the Federal Ministry of Education says it remains committed to the provision of a conducive environment to promote education in the country, in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for the education sector. The ministry, in a statement by the Director of Press, Folashade Boyowo, while reacting to a viral video on social media revealing an inappropriate and unconducive setting for the conduct of examinations at a Unity Secondary School in Asaba, says the minister, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has directed a full investigation into the matter and the outcome to be made public. He stated that the incident depicted in the video is totally unacceptable and every effort will be made to combat such, and as both WAEC and the Delta State governments are liaising with the federal government on the issue. Now, towards achieving a $1 trillion economy target set by the federal government, stakeholders are setting agenda for subnationals to leverage areas of comparative advantage to collectively grow the economy. Suleiman Kodogi reports that this came as statisticians converged on Katsina to work out a template for states to adopt for a competitive economy.
Annual meeting of the National Consultative Committee of Statistics with the team promoting development at subnational levels through improved state GDP compilation brings state statisticians general, development partners, and representatives of the ministries, departments, and the agencies of government. It is expected to produce a strategic framework that will strengthen Nigeria's statistical system and improve policy formulation at both the federal and state levels.
Each state should be able to have its own GDP and to make a contribution to the national GDP.
We take it upon ourselves to drive this initiative, to support each state of the federation, to ensure that they compile their state GDP.
We cannot go anywhere without statistical data. You need to track the performance of policy. You need to take an informed decision.
Declaring the event open, Katsina State Governor, represented by his deputy, Farouk Lawal, maintained that his administration will continue to provide the needed environment towards boosting the economic activities of the state.
In the context of Kaduna State and other subnationals, it is expected to be a proper and all-inclusive. Let me at this juncture examine the contribution of agriculture to GDP in Kaduna State.
The three-day event featured goodwill messages from relevant stakeholders and presentation of the state GDP by 4 geopolitical zones of the country. In Katsina, Suleiman Kodogi, NTA News.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted a large shipment of illicit substances at the Port Harcourt Port Complex in Onne, River State, and the Apapa Seaport in Lagos. The seized items include no fewer than 6 million pills of opioids, specifically codeine-based cough syrup, with a combined street value of over 6 billion naira. Salah Khalil Ibrahim reports on this significant seizure.
Following intelligence and tracking of new trafficking route used by drug cartels to ship illicit substances into Nigeria, seizures were made at the Apapa and Onne ports. A joint examination of shipment on Monday, May 19th and Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 uncovered significant contraband. The seizure included 6 million pills of opioids and 162,000 bottles of codeine syrup hidden in 2 containers. In a related development at the Apapa port in Lagos, a total of 170,000 bottles of codeine syrup were discovered in a container on Thursday, 22nd May 2025. Meanwhile, 2 British nationals as well as 2 Nigerians have been arrested for attempting to smuggle into the country 92 bags of loud through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. In Nasarawa State, 2 suspects were arrested in Kefi on Saturday, 22nd May, when 4,000 kilograms of skunk were discovered concealed under unprocessed wood in their lorry. And back in Lagos, operatives raided the Osapa London area of Lekki, where they arrested a suspect with different quantities of cocaine, methamphetamine, molly, refinol, codeine, cannabis, and nitrous oxide. Meanwhile, the war against drug abuse, WADA social advocacy activities continues across the country. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 6, Mustafa Mohammed Balla, is advocating a community safety partnership as a key strategy to addressing insecurity challenges confronting some states in the country. Oba Hyacinth reports that the IIG stated this during his pull-out parade at Mobile Police 11 Base, Calabar.
So handling insecurity challenges requires the collaborations of critical stakeholders as key to addressing insecurity in the country, as the outgoing AIG Zone 6 urged his successor to consolidate on that while recounting his meritorious journey as a police officer.
The ceremony marks the peak, the climax of my service within the force, and also the day of my birthday. Hence, it is a bittersweet feeling. I have equally met with wonderful people within the period under review when I served as AIG Zone 6, among my officers and men, and the civilian community I was interacting with.
The pull-out parade, characterized by glamour and emotions, commemorates an impactful journey from his enlistment in 1992 to his retirement as the 32nd AIG of Zone 6, which oversees Akwa Ibom and Cross River State Police Commands. AIG Mustafa Balla Mohammed, born in 1965 in Sandamu local government area in Katsina State and married with children, was a cadet assistant superintendent upon his enlistment, rising to the position of Commissioner of Police Rivers and Abia State among others, before assuming 5 months ago as the AIG Zone 6, bringing an illustrious career to an enviable end. In Calabar, Oba Hyacinth, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
NTA Television College Jos, you will dive into exhilarating hands that will fuel your passion in education and propel your career to new heights. We don't just teach, we craft the next generation of media leaders. Explore our diverse offering, understanding the personnel matters and issues in the public service, basic development communication, financial reporting under IPSAS and interpretation of public sector accounting standard IPSAS, audit, internal check and control management, video camera maintenance, new technology technologies, optics, fiber, IP technologies, automation, storage management, and wireless technology. Challenges and opportunities in the secretarial profession in the digital age. Digital marketing, basic drama, online reporting, understanding the provisions of the revised public service, audio engineering operations and maintenance, camera operations, and intermediate drama. Mark your calendar. The second quarter of 2025 is your launch pad. This is your moment to seize the future. Announcer Management.
Welcome back. The presidency has reacted to the series of endorsements of President Bola Tinubu for a second term in office, describing them as an indication of a good performance by the administration. At midterm of the administration, governors, National Assembly members and other structures of the All Progressives Congress, APC, have on several occasions given pass marks and endorsed the presidents for another term in office. However, while a section of Nigerians believe it is too early to celebrate or prepare for the next election, the presidency says the endorsements only underscore that various reforms of the administration are yielding good results for the country.
It is really too early. And even if it is too early, the opposition parties that are in disarray started it all. They have been trying to, have, all kind of meetings, gang up against the president, and you don't expect the APC to also fold its arms. So I don't think it's too early. And what you have seen is also the party trying to assess what they have been able to do in 2 years, a kind of midterm assessment. And I haven't assessed the 2 terms of Mr. President, and I haven't seen that the president has done well. I do not see anything too early in affirming, that Mr. President has done well, which is what they did, by endorsing him.
The presidents in the outgone week join us on this week's edition of Executive Recap, coming up at 10:30 tonight on the network service. Meanwhile, South North Progressive Forum has added its voice in support of the clamour for the office of the presidents to remain in the southern region of the country. President of the forum, Festus Onyekulisi, at a press conference in Abuja, said the forum is perching its tents with this idea to ensure every region has a fair opportunity to lead the nation.
It is not merely a matter of politics, but a call to conscience, a demand for fairness, and a commitment to national unity and peace. Historically speaking, our nation has witnessed a disparity in power dynamics. We do not hold in power for 24 years and the South for 18 years since the parliamentary democracy of 1957 to the constitutional democracy of 1999. We commit to leading the same campaign for the North in 2031.
The forum also proposes a constitutional framework for power rotation between the South and the North that will allow regional blocs to microzone the presidency and ensure every Nigerian has a voice in national development.
Let Nigerians, let the elites come together. Like you talked about Southeast. It is Nigerians that will now look at, okay, this has gone to the South. All the political parties have moved all their candidates to the South. Now, it is the turn of Southeast to decide. It is the turn of Southeast. Nigerians will say, okay, fine, let's follow Southeast.
The forum, made up of members of different political parties, representatives of trade unions and other affiliate groups, says it is ready to work with all relevant stakeholders to promote equity, justice and inclusivity in the country's leadership arrangements. Nigeria says it remains committed to regional unity as a pillar of strength that all member nations depend for a prosperous West Africa. This was the stand of the 35-member Nigerian delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, led by the Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin, at the presentation of the country's reports to the first 2025 ordinary session holding in Abuja. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
Nigeria's report, presented by Representative Abiyanti Awaji Inombek, outlined the country's progress in the political development, security, economy, and human rights.
Nigeria continues to make steady progress in promoting good governance and reinforcing the rule of law, reflecting its commitment to transparency, accountability, and inclusive development.
On the security situation in the country, the report highlighted Nigeria's national security architecture, which faced serious challenges across regions, acknowledging measures introduced, surmounting the challenges, while affirming President Tinubu's commitment to security.
The Nigerian armed forces are adopting technological warfare and reallocating resources to address these increasing threats through digital surveillance and counter-insurgency modernization.
Gambia and Sierra Leone presentations also centered on access to justice, comprehensive judicial reforms, ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme, alignment with African Continental Free Trade Area protocols, social inclusion, among other areas.
The government of Sierra Leone has continued to implement prudent fiscal policies and public financial management reforms to improve revenue mobilization and curb wasteful expenditure.
The Gambia's electoral process has undergone significant improvements, particularly in the wake of the 2021 presidential elections, the 2022 National Assembly elections, and the 2023 council elections.
All the three reports presented were adopted at the plenary. In Abuja, Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
A bit on health, breaking the silence and amplifying voices on the dangers of obstetric fistula. Gynecologists and patients insist are the most effective ways to end the condition. In this report, Elizabeth Omori takes a look at prevention and treatments to reduce prevalence of mortality as nations raise advocacy.
Obstetric fistula, a serious childbirth injury characterized by an abnormal opening between the vagina and another organ, like the bladder or rectum. Medical experts say it is caused by prolonged and obstructed labor, where there is no access to a cesarean section. This leads to tissue damage and a fistula, which can cause constant leakage of urine or feces. Women with fistula often experience chronic inconvenience, leading to social isolation and stigma. In Nigeria, the prevalence of obstetric fistula is estimated at 3.2 per 100 births. Reducing the death toll from this condition informed this awareness work. Precious shares her experience.
In 6 years, I can't even control it. We can be having a very serious conversation here, and then you just be like, put. I can't control it. It's not my fault. I can't control it. But then Bashir Foundation came in, paid for the surgery, and I'm fine.
Organizers of the walk believe the move is a global call to action to reduce the suffering of women living with obstetric fistula.
You tell a woman to come to the hospital, and then she comes to the hospital, there's no doctor on ground to take care of her. There's always one concern or the other, so there's still so many things to do, to put in place for us to be able to achieve what we need to achieve.
Between 12 to 15, rape, those are the ones that causes this obstetric fistula. CS can cause obstetric fistula too. And to prevent, we have, is treatable, one, and is repairable.
Ending obstetric fistula, they say, would significantly improve maternal health. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The federal government has congratulated the government and people of Jordan as they celebrate their 79th independence anniversary. Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tugar, in a statement, says that Nigeria and Jordan share a long-standing relationship, cooperation and shared values, particularly in promoting peace, stability and economic development. Tugar explained that the recent inclusion of Jordan as a permanent pilgrimage destination for Nigerian Christians further strengthens the bilateral ties between the two nations. On the occasion of the country's 79th Independence Day, Nigeria extends congratulations to the government and people of the country, reaffirming the government's readiness to deepen bilateral cooperation and strengthen ties in the years ahead. The death has been announced of Alhaji Halilu Bala Osman, the Osuajiri of Udege Chiefdom and former Deputy Governor of Old Plateau State. Late Alhaji Halilu Bala Osman was the third first-class paramount ruler of Udege Chiefdom since its creation by late Solomon Lars administration in 1983. Before his appointments in 2011 by former Nasarawa State Governor Umar Al-Makura, late Halilu Bala Osman was a seasoned local government administrator who later transferred his civil service career to the Nigerian Port Authority before venturing into politics in the 90s. He died at the age of 82, leaving behind 3 wives, children and great-grandchildren. He has since been buried, according to Islamic rites, in Egede town, the headquarters of the chiefdom. And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.